Ooh, my bad. Took forever there. Uh, 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 let's make my bed. All right. Yeah. 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 Fuck. Oops. Let's get this up here.
Chatamate. Get you going. Get you Oh God. Today is Monday. Monday.
How's everybody doing today? How's everybody out there on the YouTube streets?
Let me get this going. Okay. Cool. All right. That will work. No electronic problems so far. Nothing is touching my computer. It's the first day in several days.
I gotta make my bed now. Take a hit first. Should be exciting.
Let's get started.
Let's get started.
For those of you with the Mandela effect, for those of you that see the changes, for those of you that are quantum jumping, and for those of you getting off narcotics, my primary audience, get off narcotics, those things that kill you. Get away from them and get away from those bad situations. Start making your life better. And what I keep saying, manifest. Well, you can't manifest by yourself. You're going to have to ask for help with that one. I certainly do. Wow, my face. I'll get the sidebar in a minute. Oh, I feel good today. Finally. Several days of shocks. Oh, finally. Got new injuries on my legs though. That looks like a, I don't know. It's a pink scar on my foot. Like it's fresh, but it's healed. I don't remember having a wound there. I would have known. It's your foot. Got one on my ankle. Another mark. Don't know how I got it. But other than that, no electrical charges. I have not been electrocuted. So, oh, finally. It took so long. Several days of torture. I've had that weird light keep showing up my window. It's been consistent for the last several days. It's showing up, disappearing, showing up, disappearing. I got it on camera. I know I remember that. But I haven't seen it today. And I feel fine. There's no, I've gotten no electrical feelings, no charged up feelings. In fact, last night, I actually finished the 18 Tall Boys and watched a movie on Netflix, and I had to make a pot of coffee because I needed to keep drinking water. I boiled the coffee through the boiled water, filtered water, already pre-cleaned, and then I put it in the coffee machine, and through ground coffee, I regrind myself. Regrind your coffee. If you guys you could buy freeze-dried coffee. The secret is you buy the freeze-dried coffee, and then you regrind it. You do a quick grind on it real fast. You refresh it, and then you use it as your filter. Yeah. Drink coffee with natural butter, no salt. Drink your coffee with natural butter, no salt. I add a little sweet to mine. Honey, if I can get it, if I can afford it. Good honey. Mix it up, and you got yourself a nice, healthy, clean. It cleans your liver, cleans all the toxins out, and then it pushes them out the bottom of your feet. My feet have been sweaty. I got my little sweaty carpet which absorbs all the natural garbage out of my feet, all the heavy metals and toxins and all that stuff. Have something for your feet at night. Have a carpet specifically for your feet, and drink lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of liquids. And then let your feet sweat out the garbage. Don't use deodorants. Don't use soaps. Don't use any of their fucking products here. Don't use any of their killing shit. Go natural. As you can go natural, you can get it natural. But I mean natural, I mean like from the Blue Hawk kind of natural, like get it from a fucking someone who's actually making it. If someone's making their own soap,
you still on break, lad?
Go for it. Go for it. This person is making a
natural.
Get off
in an hour. That's pretty.
I go natural, man.
It's not that much longer. An hour at work goes by pretty quick.
I'll get the sidebar up. My beautiful man face. For those of you that like to see my eyes, they are 100% dilated. I stay that way. I have not smoked marijuana yet.
Fuck, man.
That's why I got these. So, and I'll talk about some stuff. Help people out the best I can.
I had to fucking sleep on the floor at CVS earlier. I was like about to pass out. It was all bad. Almost got fucking ambulance called on me.
Good afternoon, kind sir. Well, good afternoon to you. You're a very friendly person.
I'm still good.
Butter? Yeah. You want to use pasteurized, unsalted butter for your coffee or your tea. I love honey. Yeah, all natural honey is the best if you can get it.
Had to lay down for
all
a
natural
sec.
Honey. Don't use anything with the corn syrup.
Just needed a micro nap.
There ain't no honey coming out of China. They got fucking corn syrup coming out of China. Mandela Mile, hi. I never wash. I bathe. I have to shower every day. I take a long hot shower, which is the natural water itself, which has got a lot of nitrogen in it, but oh well. A long hot shower, and I use oils, natural oils for scent.
I didn't do a full sleep last night, and then I got up this morning and just
I didn't even read that bottom line yet.
Tried to do hella shit
yes.
today.
Yes, it is. I use that.
And then go somewhere.
I use it for my beard oils.
And then I just got hella tired towards the end.
She's like, I still got the wrench. You guys are taking it away.
I was about to pass out.
Well, you haven't tossed it
I
out
finally
yet.
couldn't take it anymore. I just almost did pass out, so I had to lay down. But once I laid down for like 20 seconds, I was good enough to make it back home.
So Trad, Tracy, yeah, that's how you get your calcium. You can get more calcium out of butter. Butter is a more concentrated version of vitamin D. Vitamin D, because we're lacking vitamin D here, like tremendously. So the best thing you can do for your coffees or teas or whatever drink you have, it's warm, is you use, you can get sweet, unsalted.
Was like in the
sweet, unsalted
card aisle or something.
No, I've used salted butter before.
I was just in the middle of the aisle, just sleeping.
The unsalted, sweet, all pasteurized natural butter, you get yourself a lot of a big boom of fucking vitamin D, which a lot of people are lacking here. So that's why I always put out the butter. Try it. You're gonna freak out. It's gonna be soupy. It's gonna be kind of weird for you to look at. You're gonna see a sheen of oil, but all cream is in coffee is a fat. You can have black coffee or you can add cream. All you do is adding fat cells to it, which makes it give it a little more of a whole body taste, and it keeps it warm longer. If you add fat cells to coffee, it keeps it warm longer. But with butter, all natural butter, you can put it in there. I just take a little spoon, little thing. I do all my measuring cup. 1, 2, 3, and one of that, and then there's 2 of this. I repeat the process for my drinks, for my non-beer drinks. But yeah, it tastes wonderful. Really gonna make you freak out. You're gonna be like, why have I never drank coffee like this or tea like this with butter? You're gonna feel stupid.
Damn. Yeah.
Okay. It's done. My I'm going to be electrical. I will try. I know you'll try it. You're going to try it because you're fucking curious, and you're going to be like, I've never known this to be so good. And it's got nothing but pure vitamins. It's like a healthy, because if you get the all natural honey, all those bee enzymes are fucking great antitoxins. All the bee enzymes, bee enzyme. Number 1, boom, good. Number 2, you've got filtered fucking coffee, water that's been strained and filtered to ground. Picking up all its good stuff for your liver. Boom, another one. And then you add your butter. Boom. Now you've got a little vitamin, little natural, all natural. And you can drink that in the daytime. Sip it, drink it. Do it with tea. You can do non-caffeinated tea, non-caffeinated coffee. I recommend caffeinated coffee, but
resting's good.
My goodness, you'll be shitting in high cotton, as my dad used to say. Very nice. I'm gonna take 2 of these vitamins. No, these are vitamin C.
Fucking roll up rugs.
I myself
save me.
He gets a free packet every month, and he showed up at my door one day, knocked on it, and he hands me. Where'd it go? It's somewhere over there. Oh, there it is. He hands me this. Here. I want you to have these.
I should have took a pic of me taking a nap on the floor. It's like
sure, man.
Catching the micro nap. Hashtag Wagey.
Vitamin C.
Wagey life.
And a little medical kit.
We blazing tonight, boys. Woo!
I said, thanks.
What's good, Farkle? You smoke weed now?
I felt bad for him one time because he's cruising around with an ugly coat.
Woo!
He's a nice guy. He had an ugly coat. So I had picked up this antique, still fantastic, 100% mint condition Harley Davidson jacket. It was classic.
Boys in the house.
And it's Harley Davidson. I got leather jackets.
Oh.
I gave it to him. It's worth like on the market like $200. I just gave it to him. Trying to get rid of shit. Ever since then, the guy's always
you
been
missed
like,
my
really
story,
nice.
Farkle.
He wears.
I passed out in the CVS when I went to get my meds. I could like barely stand up anymore, so I just went to sleep, took a micro nap in one of the aisles, and then just got up and left. That was fucked. First I just got a drink of water to try and make it. I was like, oh fuck, just hit up the water fountain. I got this. Nah, I didn't get it. I didn't have it, fam. Didn't have it. We blazing tonight, boys. Alright, let me go get my sheets for my bed so I can get started on the bed making stream while I blaze the next bowl. Since Farkle's here now. Got Farkle in the house. I'm gonna go get my sheets, BRB.
Where is it religiously? And it looks sharp. Makes him look kind of badass.
Sheets.
You don't ride a Harley, but people wouldn't know it because he got tattoos on his face. Like, this motherfucker's a Harley. Gives him a little bit of status. People don't know he's. If you don't talk to you, you don't know he's autism. Kind of cool. Ladies are looking at him now with that jacket.
Yeah.
Oh,
make
frequency
that bed.
Mandelf frequencies in it. Butter's a good fat. I use it on my low carb. Hell yes. I use it with all my shit. Oh, I gotta get that vitamin D, man. Get that vitamin D. Use it with all my shit. Don't use butter here. Just causing yourself cholesterol. You gotta kill yourself. Fuck that. My shit's got butter. Or bacon fat. And bacon fat and butter. I save all my oils. So who else? And we got going down. We got Barry Letnick. Boom good. Number one, boom good. All right. Georgia A's in the house. Hi, Georgia A. Barry Woodnick. That's some good soapboxing. What is soapboxing? Hey, Georgia. Oh, computer's freezing. Hi, MM. Hey, Mendel. The other gals are going, why does MM have a fucking wrench? She gets to keep it. It was an accident. I only hand out so many and keeping it just to the guys. I gave one, of course, to Martha. She has her own show, so I can go on her show without being kicked out. But Mandela Miles, is been holding her own with that wrench. So being nice to people. I haven't taken it away. And knows I'm assuming knows it was like, what? How could they get a wrench? Give me a second, people. I'm going to get a little high. I haven't smoked any marijuana today. I just want to talk about a few things. Of course, with these last couple of major shifts, my diet has been gone. I have no desire to eat. I've been Ramadan dieting again. I've only been eating in the evenings. So, I don't know why, but I feel fine. I don't feel sick or anything, so it's not like I'm hurt. for whatever reason, my diet switched back to eating in the evenings only. Again, there's no reason why I can't eat in the daytime. There's no reason for it. I can do it. I just don't have any desire to. And I get used to the hunger growls. And if it's a slight one, they don't bother me. So it's kind of, I've switched it up. I've got a thing of chicken soup over here that I got. I have to eat it. It's got a tortilla on it. So, we'll talk about some stuff today. Move you guys back a little bit.
Watch Overlord. And
talk about a few things today.
Movie theater.
Damn it, it's frozen.
Overlord.
What? I don't feel electrical. I mean, it was external
Discord.
yesterday. It was really bad.
Or, I mean, Rabbit.
This one's just me doing it.
Do you guys still watch movies?
I gotta refresh it.
Every night.
Sorry. I still cause electrical
Should
problems.
catch movie night.
People that know. I come on a site sometimes, and people even make jokes. Oh, Robert Wood must be in here because all the electrical shit is fucked up. I'm like, hi guys, I am in here. Correct. That's a nice, funny joke because I am in here. So I am causing a little bit of electrical problem. I apologize. Some people already know it. They just, that was just a fun thing for them. It's nothing to do with
I'm a 50-pound
magic. I don't know what it is. Let me get this marijuana going. Let me see what you guys have to say for 1 second while you're talking about the song get loaded up here. We're doing well. Got upset. Why is it frozen again? Off the grid. Okay, that frozen sound. Yay! Hey, grid. Great Stacy. Yeah. Off the grid prosperity. Everyone. Okay, cool. We get high. You guys talk amongst yourselves. You got your own little friendly group. You guys keep showing up. I think I'm getting the regulars. You guys are. Oh, that's a beauty. That's a fucking like a Christmas tree.
Oh shit, Christmas tree.
Oh, I want you in me.
Gotta do deadlift.
Oh.
Dude, I hella like the deadlift.
It smells wonderful.
You like use your whole body at once. It's like men do, lift heavy shit.
I'm gonna detox for a week. And I couldn't have done it without marijuana. I could not get off in a day without marijuana. Everyone said, you can't.
Alright.
I did.
No.
I'm proud of it. I brag. I most likely had a heart attack, but I brag. I like bragging about getting off in a day. It was difficult.
Oh yeah, and me too.
I had no choice. It was done.
Fuck. I forget what my name is.
The Mandela
Royal Plants or Off-Grid like, Prosperity.
I gotta go in the military mode.
Snapchat.
I gotta get up.
What's my name, Polly Wolf?
About it. It's like.
Is it Royal or Off-Grid?
Right now. Now people were like, you went to the VA and dumped it in and you look. And I saw your video and you look all energetic.
Yeah, I'm too high.
There's no way you're detoxing. No, you were correct. I mentioned this before. I dosed up. I gave myself a lot of extra because I'm handing them over to the VA and I'm done. So yeah, I juiced it up.
Yeah, it's Off-Grid Prosperity.
To give myself brave enough to do it.
Same as here.
I'm lie about that. That's the truth.
Add me, Farkle.
I braved myself up with them pills. Then I handed over the remainder of them pills. Woo! Then after that was hell the next day.
Yeah, trying to snap what
First thing I wanted to do was
ooh, I got some new Snapchat.
They followed me
Polly Wolf.
I was like, they're gonna find a pill. A pill fell probably in the. I was remembering going in my closet, going, I'm in full blown detox. I feel like I'm on an elevator and it's crashing. Like it's fucking coming down fast. My entire body feels like it's just coming down. Like I have the fucking worst flu on the planet. And I want one. I'm so stupid to turn it in. And I thought about it in my closet. And I said, go ahead, man, wash out. You
can't wait to lie.
Failure. You're weak. Tell myself that. Fighter. Brighter. Nice. Wow. Nice.
Alright, add me, Farkle.
Spam.
Add me.
Oh, when I sold the grower. That was a step.
Oh, it's 2 words. Off-grid is 1 word, and prosperity is another word. I should edit that.
Time out.
Tremect 150.
How the hell?
Oh,
That's
yeah.
not embarrassing.
Alright, got you. Got you, Mr. Letter.
That bird.
Letter.
That's a big stem.
Doxed.
How the hell? Oh. How's it go?
Alright, cool. For show, brother.
Badass.
I won't dox you like I did College of the Air. Fucking Michael Bozo.
Oh, well, water. Shit.
Just kidding, that's not his name.
I checked my water in my bong, man. Hold on, people. Oh, man.
There you go.
I'll be right back. You guys talking what you know.
Good shit.
Oh.
Good shit, Farkle. Yeah, I finished making my bed now. Let's see. Oh yeah. Face reveal. Finally. Good looking lad.
Cheap shit.
Alright.
God damn.
I gotta get my sheets. BRB.
That one got me. Alright. Sorry about that. Gotta put water in it. I gotta check my shit before I come on. I just come on natural. Check you guys out. Whoa. I want to talk about some stuff. Oh. Is that some sort of old saying that nobody's saying anymore? What is that saying? Just visiting. Crappy vacation planet. That's what it is. It reminds me of Vacation Planet for all the elites. Yeah. It's a slave planet. 100%. I've already looked at all the data. We're a slave planet. We woke up on a slave planet, like a slave planet version of our own home. I know, Barry. It's sad. No. What do we call it here? I was a master of tic-tac-toe. Tic-tac-toe, huh? I always got served. Laugh out loud. I could estimate sometimes though, and then well, tic-tac-toe was the last time I won. Tic-tac-toe. Man, it's nice. Okay. I was just reading your guys' stuff. I had to get caught up. It was a big ass stem. I was being all badass, and I took a big hit of it. It was like, oh, it's like smoking fucking shoestrings, man. That would caught me off guard. Guys, my friend Max called this a slave planet back in 2000. Well, it is. Everybody's Social Security number or your whatever ID number is registered with the bank. You're being gambled. You are worth money. You are like cattle. You are sheep. Sheeples are worth money. People are worth money. There's a whole lot of literature on it. The Federal Reserves. The Federal Reserve. And like the Bank of England and the Bank of fucking the Vatican. Yeah, everybody's a slave. This place is Rome. That's why they got all those fucking what do they call those? Fascist symbols. Like where you see what's his name? Fucking Abraham Lincoln, and he's got the two fascists now. The two fascists. The fascists are everywhere. Their weapons, like from I don't know. I can't say it before, but they're from Rome. The Roman weapons, or Greek, I think, are fascist. We're in a fascist place. That means the governments. There's no governments. It's just corporations are in charge. Corporations. There are no countries. Besides, there's no fucking planet no more. It's a goddamn backup eternal. The back of the turtle's got squares. Like a chessboard. That's why I was called the back of a turtle. And in that chessboard game, you've got all these mafia families. Businesses.
Oh, damn it.
Families.
Fucking sheets aren't ready yet.
So, some people are running the child trafficking. Some people are doing opium, poppies. I mean, there's fucking drugs and people, and then everybody's own. And the Social Security
shit, I'm reliving where I passed out. I was watching the stream at CBS. It's like when I got there. Fuck, line so long at CBS.
They take it out and just give you a little piece of you for your service that you work.
Shit.
They give it to you in the form of a loan from the banks. And then the banks make you pay it back to them, but technically it's yours to begin with. And then they charge interest on top of it. So they're double fucking you. They're fucking you twice. You guys are like getting it in the
Alright, time to load up. Let's get high, boys. Get your pick your poison.
By the fucking banking system. I know all that now.
Pick your poison.
Scared me. I guess they call it the shit. Wow.
Oh, my hands. Damn it, now my fucking hands smell like detergent. Fuck. I'm gonna get my weed like detergent. I gotta go wash my hands. Hold on.
Pretty good at him, and if Bill would make a good crossover, everyone could stand to hear the king of the soapbox himself. God. Aha! Often powered by the... Yeah, well, it's the banking system. It's the banking systems. Remember, the Bible changed. Remember? It just says it right there. You guys can read the codes, you know. That's why the book changed. To forgive your trespassers. Sagittarius arm was trespassers. To forgive your debtors. Your debtors. Forgive your debtors. The bankers. That's why the prayer says that now. Remember, trespassing means to go on your private property. There is no private property. You don't have any. None of you are free. You're all slaves. Me too. I'm fighting them. I'm fighting the banking system. I'm fighting Wells Fargo. Remember that. I was supposed to get a call back Friday. I haven't received any word yet.
Alright, the soapbox.
I told him on the phone,
Soapbox.
give me my fucking money. Give me my title of my house because it's already mine. Already bought it. And give me my fucking my title, and then I want my fucking account put back on.
Yeah.
Put it back on. I want to put that on. I want to be able to use it as I want to.
Yeah, we got TFL Bill. All the characters. We got all the characters. Bill Cooper.
They're gonna probably play the super card. We don't know what you're talking about.
You got all
they can do whatever they want.
TFL and incel theories.
All I can do is tell people out here with my voice. Tell people what's going on. It's fine. So as long as you guys hear it.
Oh shit, it's about where I pass out.
I get like over 100 views.
Typed in feel like I'm gonna pass
There's
out.
100 people know that they're not a slave no more. Doing my job and getting you off narcotics. Bill Cooper.
TFL. I'm TFL. It's my casket, bro. I'm TFL. I wish TFL Bill could give me the hat. Yo, I'm TFL.
Till my casket drop. I'm TFL until my casket drop. I'm TFL until my casket drop. I'm TFL until my casket drop. 27 years old, never had no pussy. Certified loser nigga to the day they put a nigga in the grave. I deserve to get my pussy ass whipped. 12 years a slave, nigga, I ain't shit. Certified loser, deserve to get sprayed with the Uzi or the semi-automatic. All of my life, dog, I've been a failure. The Desert Eagle bullets, nigga, is certain to melt you. Understand me, I've been a certified loser since day one. I deserve to get Super Saiyan Blast Gohan. I'm a piece of shit, illegitimate buster, nigga. Niggas of my caliber deserve to get fucked up. Lord knows I'm a certified loser. 27 years old, never had no pussy. I bought a fake pussy last Christmas. I'm a certified loser, L-O-S-E-R. I'm far from a star. Haven't been out on a date with a bitch in 8 years, my nigga. Certified loser, got that F nigga on my forehead. I deserve to get slaughtered, my nigga, and left for dead. The track just went off because it was on for too long, but I can flow acapella. I'm a certified loser until the end of my days. I deserve to get rolled up and smoked like purple haze.
Bill.
Certified failure, nigga, till the end of my days. TFL till the day they put my ass in a casket. I wish Bill could give me a TFL shirt and a hat too to represent this damn thing. Casket. I wish Bill could give me a TFL shirt and a hat too to represent this damn thing.
I wish Bill could give me a cap and shirt too, man, to rep TFL. Blackbot Fields, producer Chris. 27 years old, ain't never had no pussy.
I don't watch anything, no news. I haven't really watched news for like 3 years. I don't pay attention to anybody. I listen to the All-Father. I listen to God. And then I get my signs. Then I get redirected to figure this out, to figure it out. I don't listen to humans. Everybody's lying. I don't remember that change. Was it subtle? Feel the Uma pass out. What? The Ema pass out.
Ema pass out?
I don't know what you guys talking about. You guys are going off, having a great time in your own world over there in the sidebar. But I have to get caught up. I have no idea what's going on. Yeah, cool. But yeah, everybody's own. You're just a number. You're a number. A number. That's all you are. And with all the truth coming out, and more people, like over in France, there's a lot of shit going on. Everybody's taken to the streets over up in
about where means I'm gonna pass out.
I was gonna say Northern Europe. Is there anything? Is there a Northern Europe anymore? I don't know. It's the globe.
Yeah, this is the last thing I typed.
Northern Europe,
Luigi.
Scandinavia. They're taking to the streets too. Everybody's taking to the streets. Everybody's fighting the system. This is the time. Fight for your fucking right to party. Legalize that marijuana, you fucking fascist. Yeah, the yellow vest. Yeah. I'm gonna pass out. Oh. They pointed the shot feds who was naval intelligence. He came out with everything. Yeah, a lot of people get shot. Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm telling everybody everything. Fuck, it's the apocalypse, man. I don't have a choice.
Telling everybody everything.
The apocalypse. The truth has to come out. So yes, Afghanistan has fields of I don't know, opium, specifically for the world to have opium, keep people quiet and addicted, and then other people own this and other people own that, and these people own fucking silicon. I think it was North Korea's got silicon, lots of silicon phones and shit. Trying to take control of that, right?
27 years old and never had no pussy.
Silicon, man, for the phones, cell phones.
Yeah, I passed out by now.
There's so much demand, not for a fucking cell phone. They need the silicon in it. They need it. They're running out, but
I was dead.
North Korea has a nice supply of it.
Rest in peace.
But they want you turning your phones all the time. They need that fucking silicon back. They want you to get new phones. They want you to get new phones. They want you to exchange them. They want you to go in and get the newest iPhone. The newest phone. And you exchange yours in, and you get that discount or whatever bullshit they do. It's because they're going to take that one and recycle the silicone. They don't want you throwing these in the garbage.
They don't want you throwing them in the garbage.
The silicone. Feeding it back to the system. I have a phone I got a long time ago, and I just keep the same phone. I don't get the newest iPhone. You're feeding into the system. You're feeding the beast.
No, I want the newest silicone. It's better.
He was murdered.
It's faster. It has more memory.
Probably so.
It has a better camera.
So. Yeah, most likely.
There's better cases out for it.
I think I get murdered too.
Yo, he was murdered a month after 9/11.
I don't know.
Damn, brah. Damn, brah. That's fucking old. Damn, brah.
I've had some rough days.
Knew too much.
And I thought I died. I was pretty positive I died.
Know too much about that Illuminati.
The
beast is always hungry.
Probably fucking opiates.
Berry.
Probably all the other pills they had me on.
The beast.
Blood pressure.
Always hungry.
Cholesterol and fucking all these crazy ass wacky extra pills for extra shit. I don't know. The shot glass pill from the VA. Stop cold turkey. I fucking saw a white light. And I saw my dad's shotgun. In a delusion. In a hallucination.
No, I think this is where I passed out.
Double barrel shotgun. It's broken over there somewhere. But right in my face. And I remember him saying, pick one. Pick one. A barrel. Pick one. It's a double barrel shotgun. Like right in my fucking face. Like my God. This is my get off drugs one day night. The night time.
Shit.
It was like the next day. So I got off. Whatever I took extra that day was just a little bit in my system to get me through that day. And the next day, then I was cold. Nothing. Cold turkey. Nothing. Zero. No drugs. My body was going through fucking. My heart was pounding. Oh, man. Hands are shaking. Oh, God. Oh, my God. This is fucking detox. I can't remember what's called, the SIDS or the PAS or WAS. I can't remember what's called. Pure fucking detox. And I'm losing it. My mind, I can't fucking stop. Can't stop fucking. My mind is gone. Smoking weed, smoking. I'm drinking, just with no pills. Just like I'm doing right now. No pills. Waiting for it to fucking stop. Waiting for the elevator to stop. I nauseous, want to throw up. Fucking throw up. Throw it up, come back, sit back down, rock back and forth. Fucking hell. No pills. They're all gone. The house is sweet. Me and my son made sure it was all gone. There's nothing I could do but fucking sit here and detox. In this same fucking chair. Nothing is good. Nothing is pleasurable. I'm not on my opiates and all them other pills. I was smoking cigarettes, weed, drinking beer, but it's not enough. And then I had that hallucination. I looked at the hallucination with music. I had music in my ears too, by the way. Don't ever detox without fucking music in your ears. Play something in your fucking earballs. You gotta keep that brain open. Don't you ever just sit in a quiet room. Detox. With some music on. Look it up. And there was that hallucination. That was it. I don't remember picking a fucking barrel either. I remember blacking out. I blacked out.
Okay.
It went white. I blacked out.
Everybody ready?
I went in my own head.
Drink your weed.
That was it. I wake up. That was awful. Grab another beer. Grab a little barrel of wine. But it wasn't as bad. It was like I made it over a hump. And that's it. Okay. I'm doing this. I realized. I can do this. Go for a run. Ran my ass to the ground.
Unlock door. Let you out. Well, we're gonna go back to the hell dashboard light stream I was watching yesterday or whatever. I gotta kill some time till my sheets are done in the dryer, the washer, and dryer.
But there's a reason. Do you want to? You know what I'm saying?
Nationalities still have to this day. It's much more, I would say, organic. It's much more natural that, things are set up. You get to know somebody, feel. No.
Neither do I. Welcome to married life. Welcome to married life with kids.
Yeah,
women. In my current position, I could see how that would be difficult. See, that's a major problem.
It's the opposite of what you portrayed with the nursing or hospital environment. Yes.
Oh, for sure. I was in a target-rich environment. I told Steve last night this, and it wasn't me bragging, but I literally was in a target-rich environment. I had my pick at the time, pretty much multiple women. It was fun, I must say, but I mean, now I'm married and it's a different story, but, in my current position, I could see how that would be difficult. I don't work with women now, but, so I guess the thing is you have to put yourself in a position where you're going to be around women. Do you go out a lot? Are you a social man? I mean, what?
No, I've spent straightforward on my other videos. I said I have no friends. No.
Neither do I. Welcome to married life. Welcome to married life with kids.
Yeah. So, people were talking about this. I did this video the other day, and I was showing how these international students who come from abroad to, to the, Canada, to the United States, they have these organizations in place that are designed to help the men and women of their respective ethnicity or their respective nationality come together, celebrate their heritage, celebrate their holidays, and they get together and they do things. They go on hikes, they go kind of wholesome activities. They go apple picking, they go to a pumpkin patch for Halloween. They do all of these
Filipino
sort of,
apple picking.
What's the term? Tame activities. And it's just a way for the men and women to come together.
And social gathering.
It's a social gathering, and it isn't done as how we now in the West have it, where we sort of mock these videos from the 1950s of asking Susie to go to the pump, I don't know, to the pumpkin dance, or the
pumpkin dance,
to the malt shop or something like they had these events, and you sort of look at that, it's so so tame, or it's so retro. But now what do we have? It's like, for most people in the West, regardless of race, it comes down to kind of propositioning strangers. You have day game, night game. You're trying to meet people in bars and nightclubs, and that's basically solicitation. It's proposition, propositioning strangers. It isn't organic. It isn't you get to know somebody, feel them out. It's sort of you have these anonymous online things like OkCupid, Match, Bumble, Tinder. And it's very depersonalized and it's very dehumanized, and that's, I think, the major thing here in the West.
Alex, you said you work on a college campus.
I actually work remotely.
Remotely, as in at your house, or at an office, or
from home.
Oh man.
It's not a permanent situation, though. It's not permanent.
My thing was going to be, if you're working on campus, I was going to ask, where do you eat lunch? I mean, a college lunchroom might be a place where you can strike up a conversation with a woman your age or a little bit younger.
You can tell Alex is cringing at the thought of actually trying.
That's what you would call a cold approach, right? And
cold approach.
People can say it comes down to having fortitude or courage or confidence. But at the end of the day, it's still unnatural. You're propositioning somebody. It's your motives are kind of transparent at that point. Yeah. Whereas at least what we had in the 50s, the 60s, or what other nationalities still have to this day, it's much more, I would say, organic. It's much more natural that, things are set up to bring people together in a way that it isn't an obvious pickup environment.
I see. Okay. Well, go ahead, buddy.
And I think you have a point. the last 3 dates I got, one was a coworker, one was worked at my apartment complex, one worked at a place I like to eat, and she was a cashier.
Hell yeah.
It's easy to get. I mean, if they're in my environment, that's how I get them.
That's right.
And I think when you're working in an environment that's practically all male, or you working around a bunch of older women, it makes all the difference in the world, because the women that you're going to look for have to be in your environment. You can't, and I know, and I can understand what he's talking about these online dating. I've done it. And basically, it's just like you said, it's soliciting, it's cold calling. It's like being a salesman, and you just making a phone call from a group of numbers they give you, and you got to convince whoever it is somehow to take what you're selling. And that's a very uncomfortable way to do things. You want to be able to see that person over a period of time, observe them. And I think one thing that really would help is that maybe, you want to change your work environment. If you're researching and just working around older people, maybe you could try to change your occupation a little bit where you're around younger people. You might want to be a manager at a lab somewhere, and you know how they do lab techs. They're all young. That's the way they want them, so they can pay them less. That's an idea for the guy that's working at home. Well, just a temporary situation.
That's a tough situation.
Yeah,
That's a tough situation. No, it's tough. And that's what I was going to. And that's what I was going to tell.
Most MGTOW are anti-marriage.
Correct.
I'm anti-divorce. I'm Christian, so I'm not going to be anti-marriage. But the Bible's anti-divorce, and I'm anti-divorce. And
so much has changed in 6 or 8 years. So, they pull out these old stats, like especially regarding they'll say, Asian women and white men, and they'll say 40% of Asian women are marrying white men. Yeah, but the stat is from 1995. I think these whatever you want to call them, Chads, Tyrones, I don't think they're doing well. And from what I see with my own eyes, what else can I go on? At the mall, on college campuses, I did some footage. I'll do more footage. Just walking around the mall, and you would see like a very tall dude, like 6'5", and he was with this short, like Oompa Loompa looking girl waddling together. The people who were disputing on your talk last night, they're saying, you don't know if these guys are just brother and sister. Like, how many people take their sister to the mall when they're 25 years old? How many people are going to eat lunch with their sister? It's kind of clear these are couples. Like, it's. I don't think they're just friends who decide to, go and do something on a Friday night together. It's kind of clear they're in some type of relationship. So, you have to go on what you see with your own eyes. I mean, what else can you go on?
Yeah, Isola did. I think he got out of the chat. I'll let this other guy in, or Neo, in a second. But yeah, and I think Alex, you and I we're kind of the outcasts in the MGTOW community, because we are observing this. Now, I don't really like Satanic Night, TFL attack me, number one, so it's kind of hard to be friends with somebody. He rambles on. He's very incoherent when he rambles. He's smoking weed all the time. I really don't like it, but I do see that maybe you and I and him are about the only people that are acknowledging that there is another side to the dating dilemma, and it is that we do see, like I saw a really obesely overweight guy today with a moderately attractive woman, maybe 50 pounds overweight, but he was like 150 pounds overweight. And just like, and this is a girl that probably would have turned a guy like middle-of-the-road guy like me down if I would have asked her out. And I thought to myself, like, how is this possible? Now, it might have been a social circle. I don't know the circumstances, but I'm thinking to myself, something's just not clicking right.
Did you buy everyone gifts?
The look issue, although we want to beat it to death, it's antiquated. It's very antiquated, and it's very anecdotal in the sense that if you the Face and LMS has got a channel where he does all this elaborate video editing and he shows all these girls are these really fluffy kind of like fashion conscious British girls and New York girls that say, well, I really don't know what I want and oh yeah, well he's kind of cute, you know. Though there is a subset of that population that might go for those guys, but it's not what's happening in the aggregate. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and you know these people like Looks. What is his name? LMS.
Looks and it's capital LOOKS and small letters and LMS.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen some of his videos, and you know, it's the same thing. They try to drive home this like evolutionary psychology theory.
Yeah.
You know, like the Richard Dawkins, the thinking ape, and you know, the selfish gene. And I'm not seeing it, okay, because. I mean, to really they claim they understand, like they talk about, you know, monkey branching and female hypergamy, but if you actually get, you know, try to reason things out and look from the perspective of a woman psychologically, you understand that why they would stay clear of, you know, a guy who has, you know, impeccable looks and he's successful. They're going to be so fucking anxious, so fucking nervous. They're going to be convinced he's a cheater because that's what everybody, all the media is telling them. Oh, that you know, the better looking guy the guy is, the more options he has. He's going to be hooking up on Tinder behind your back.
I just thought about that because if a super obese guy is with a somewhat obese woman, but she's not obesely obese, she might think a guy like me or you would definitely have options, and she's thinking in the back of her head, you know, if I date this guy, he may cheat on me or whatever. I think maybe they feel kept.
It's like everything going on at once, and everyone is just fucking arguing about it. It's fucking stupid. I don't want to spend money on fucking gifts. Fuck everybody. Oh, I guess you just buy shit that's like $5-10 though. Yeah. I guess you just do that. Clothes are cheap. Clothes and like a little tool. You can buy this tool. Got this from Walmart. Probably give this as a gift. So I bought one gift so far. It's like a little multi-tool thing. And got a few things. Yeah. Guess I'll buy some shit. What a fucking nigger.
When they've got that guy that is absolutely unattractive to any other woman, the idea, the myth going on in the internet is that women like a man that has been pre-selected. Why would you want
to? Shalom, Will. It's all good. I still gotta make the bed. The sheets aren't done yet, Will.
Fight for something like that? Why would you want to have the agony to go to work your nursing job and bust your ass to know that your man has been pre-selected by many women? I mean, that is insane.
Yeah, why do these women, why do these guys think women want all of their girlfriends salivating over their boyfriend, trying to pry him away from her?
Something, let me give you an anecdote. I had an older lady that lived on my street. She just passed away not too long ago, but she said to me, this was years ago, we were watching this movie on TV back in the late 80s or maybe 1990, and there was all these women fawning over this guy, and you know what she said? This is coming from an older lady now. She said, I would never want to be with a man that every other woman wanted to be with. Okay, does that tell you something? I would never want to be with a man that every woman wanted, or lots of women would fawn over, because she's admitting that even somebody from an older generation that she wouldn't want to be competing with that bullshit.
Yeah, that quote kind of reminds me. I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Annie Hall with Woody Allen.
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah, he has a line, and he goes, I would never want to belong to a club that would have someone like me as a member. And he goes, that sort of describes my whole dating life.
Yeah.
Meaning he sort of rejected these women who showed interest in him, and then he pursued women who didn't want him. So, yeah, but I think you're right. Women, this idea that they want pre-selected men. Why would women want a guy who all of their girlfriends are talking with him every time she's away? All of her girlfriends are texting him. I mean, she doesn't want to have to worry that her girlfriends are going to, convince the guy to leave or convince the guy to cheat on her.
And yeah, and that's exactly correct. Is that you've got women out, but I think that we need to drive home this idea without maybe proving it, that just by observation, and my video experiments will be coming out very shortly. I am going to be doing them, contrary to what one of these trolls is saying I'm not going to do. I did quit my PUF account for obvious reasons, so it's a total waste of time. But I do want to show this experiment where you do show people, these couples, because and people say, well, that's just anecdotal, that doesn't prove anything. Yes, it does. If you can do this on a mass level, you go to an amusement park, a mall, stand outside a bar or across the street from a bar, and you can continually show this dynamic, women by themselves, men by themselves, a bunch of chads together without any women. If you can show enough of this, what more anecdotes do you need? I mean, I guess what I'm saying is how do you prove that it's not these are just random anecdotes? That doesn't prove anything,
Yeah, but my thing is, if aside from anecdotes, anecdotes, a sufficient number. Yeah, you don't want to just show one or two. You want to sort of make it a routine.
That's what I mean. What I mean, Alex, is that what I want to drive home to people is, instead of somebody saying, well, your experiments don't prove anything, they're just anecdotes, I want to say, okay, oh really? So we're at an amusement park, and we're standing there and we're watching nothing but oofy doofies holding hands with moderately or average looking women. And I'm going to say average looking, meaning that most good looking guys can't even land an average woman. I just don't think they can do it. I think the oofy doofy is more likely to get, the hubby schlubby will be the more likely to have an average looking girlfriend. So, like, you might see a guy that looks like Kicks Passion, that's 5'4", pudgy face, but he might be one of the supplicator types. You will see these guys all the time with women. I mean, I just don't buy it. I mean, I think we're seeing these chads with the square jaws. That's all window dressings for men's magazines. Those guys aren't getting all the ladies. Those guys are lonely as fuck.
Yeah, I guess what you would want to do in your video experiments is not just show those imbalanced couples where you have, okay, the goofy guy, the overweight guy with a average or attractive looking woman, but you want to show the complete lack of chads with women. You will see those chad types. You will see those tall, fit, muscular guys. The quintessential chad, and look at, he's either alone, he's with other men, or if he has any woman, it's going to be a very profoundly unattractive woman. That's what you want to show.
The problem with the fashion industry, they never claim that these Chad guys are getting all the women. Unlike the PUAs that say the PUAs, but the looks and LMS crowd are like, oh, these Chads are getting all the women. There's no proof that they don't even make the pretense in these men's magazines that these men get all the women. They just show them looking hot and sexy. That doesn't prove that they're getting the women. It doesn't prove that they got this plethora of women just waiting for them to fuck them. I think if they do find women like this, it's a very jaded relationship. It's a physical only, but it's got nothing. It will never last beyond, oh, he's so cute. I mean, if that guy loses his looks to a girl that is into the looks, she's not going to be with him. I think those guys have a very limited shelf life.
Yeah. Yeah. What else did I want to say? Shit. It'll lose me.
I'm sorry. About Chad? Experiments maybe, like the anecdotes of experiments, or.
Oh yeah. People will come up with all types of excuses to explain away why we don't see good-looking men in public with women. They'll say things like, "Well, of course Chad's not, eating lunch with a woman. Of course Chad's not going to the store with a woman. He's behind closed doors, conveniently where we can't observe him, having sex day in and day out with a new girl every day on Tinder." It's, they're basically, proposing something that can never be disputed or verified, and that's mighty convenient when you think about it. And I don't buy that. And like you said, these guys, the people on your video last night, they were saying, well, just because a guy's sitting at a bar alone doesn't mean he's lonely and miserable. It does. It does. When you look at, you see the look on his face, and he looks absolutely, has that hangdog, miserable look, and he's maybe, he's trying to look busy, flipping through his phone or something like that. These guys do not look happy, whether they're shopping in the store alone or if they're eating alone. They don't look content. They don't look happy. Even if
I'll tell you one thing.
Gym bros are gay for
I
each other.
verified that with those guys. I've seen those good-looking guys. When I have tried to chat them up as far as like talking about sports, they don't even engage you. They kind of just say a couple words and just turn their fucking head. They're not happy, and they're not. It isn't because they're afraid you're a gay guy trying to pick up on them. You're in a straight bar. That's not their fear. They're becoming such angry dicks almost. I mean, those guys are really psychologically, I think we can deduce that these decent-looking guys that are just sitting at the bar sipping their drink alone, they're probably they're trying to figure out what's going on in society. Why am I living this life? And they can't figure it out because even those average-looking bartenders won't give them the time of day. They're never going to fuck those guys ever.
Oh yeah, I mean when people say, oh, guys are going, to the bars, to see the pretty bartenders, and that's why we'll never see automated bars, because people go there to talk to the bartender. First of all, most bars that I've been in have been so slammed, so crowded. The bartender is not sitting there, with a dish rag washing the dirty glass, talking to the one or two people who happen to be sitting at the bar. These things are so crowded, you have to scream, can you get me two Coronas? And I mean, these women are just running back and forth, taking your money, giving you a drink. They're not, oh, hey baby, tell me your problems, tell me your woes.
Yeah, that's right. That you could say that during closing. These women understand the game, but these good-looking Chads, they can't. I don't think they can even land an average-looking bartender female that's fat and pudgy, that's got a mildly cute face. Those girls got plenty of options. They don't need those. It's really bizarre. What I've noticed also, a lot of those bartender women are not necessarily dating even good-looking guys. They've got a schlubby hubby at home. I mean, it's the same bullshit.
And even if they're an attractive bartender, even because a lot of the pretty girls, what am I thinking of, like Coyote Ugly, right? And it's the girls who are putting on the performances on the they're dancing on the countertops, so they get a lot of tips from all of these horny guys, all of these guys lusting after them. Yeah, they're very physically attractive, but do they necessarily want an equally attractive man? No, they want to feel like they're the desirable one in the relationship. They want to have, all the guys, paying them compliments. They don't want a husband or a boyfriend that all the women are paying compliments to. That's going to drive them crazy with anxiety and just, nervousness that guy's going to cheat on her. He's going to leave her. So yeah, even if these women are attractive, bartenders or whatever, doesn't mean she's hooking up with some rock guitarist covered in tattoos, who looks like Kurt Cobain. Yeah, she could probably have an average schlubby hubby at home.
And I think if Kurt Cobain was alive today, he'd be a friggin' TFLer. I think he would. I think we see. I think Satanic TFL kind of looks like Kurt Cobain. He's very good looking. And
somebody said he looks like a young Brad Pitt, and when somebody pointed it out, I was like, "Whoa, holy shit!" Right.
And I had one woman one time when I was like about 30 say, "You look like Steve Perry from Journey," because my hair was dark and I had my face was shaped the same way. And it was like, and I don't, if you really think about that, if you look too good, it could be intimidating. And like that old lady said to me, I would not be married to a man that was lusted over by other women. It's kind of like you want to kept. I mean, one thing we as men fantasize, we always wish we could be the only guy that would find a certain girl attractive. But the fact is, it doesn't work that way. There's always guys that find your woman attractive, and it's, you know, that's one thing we have to accept. I mean, but women, I guess, are just more, they're very touchy about that issue, that they don't want to. And like I say, you're going to see more schlubby hubbies with a moderately attractive woman, a woman that's still fuckable in our mind, but she's with a big 300-pound guy or a 250-pound guy.
Yeah, it doesn't necessarily have to be a fat guy. It could be a very short guy. It could be a bald guy. Just something that you look at this couple and you're like, you know, why is she with him? But, you know, when you kind of reason through the psychology is, well, she feels comfortable. She feels like she has the upper hand. She feels like he will never leave her. Maybe she will leave him at some point, maybe. But if there's any leaving, it's going to be done by her, not by him. At least that's what she thinks.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. That is unbelievable, because it's this reverses the whole logic, and I like this perspective, because one thing about your perspective that you've discovered about observing this hubby schlubby, you call it, and the oofy doofy, is that this can be seen in public all the time. Where this can be proven by just seeing it in public every day. But this idea that there's this Chad Thundercock slaying all the pussy, there's no quantifiable way to prove this guy. He's like he's an urban myth is what he is. I mean, we don't see this guy. Where is this Chad guy you're talking about? Well, yeah, he's at the clubs. Okay, why don't you take me to the clubs and show me Chad in action? I don't think these PUAs could even show you a Chad in action. I don't think they could ever have access to a real Chad slaying the pussy.
Yeah, exactly. He's like an urban legend. He's like Mothman. He's like Bigfoot. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like people blindly say this 80-20 rule, and listen, I said it in the past too. It's the 80-20 rule. 80% of the women are 20% of the women are bagging 80% of the women. That's a gross overgeneralization. When there's it doesn't seem that there's any verifiable evidence. Like Rollo Tomasi preaches that alpha fucks beta bucks, and he's preaching the idea that hubby schlubby is doing all the supporting while his wife gets impregnated by other guys, and that's his mantra, and that's what sells him. Of course, he also sells the idea that if you're a dork at 22, once you're 35, your sexual market value, you age like fine wine. These guys are selling such nonsense.
No, I think women age better than men, or at least they keep their sexual market value a lot longer than men.
Oh my God, way more. Yeah,
I mean, either, you know, it's a combination of, you know, maybe they don't age as poorly. They're much better with the makeup. They're much better with the cosmetic surgery, the plastic surgery. But yeah, I mean, we've all seen those, you know, 45, 50-some-year-old cougars. And I mean, let's not deny it. They're still attractive. You know, I mean, it's not like we look at them in disgust. We have to grudgingly, you know, admit, well, they are still attractive, even at 48 or 50-something.
Yeah, there's this woman named something Kathy Griffith or something. Her last name's Griffith, and she's a Christian dating expert. And she's so phony, but she's like in her mid-50s now, and she's talking about, well, one of these days I'll find the right guy. And they were joking, and they said she really doesn't want to find a right guy. She just wants to put on the facade that she's looking. There are no good guys, and she's in her 50s, and everybody, even guys that don't hate her guts, keep saying, my God, I can't believe she's so good looking at that age. So these women. Many women are doing very well into their 50s.
Yeah, and it's crazy when you consider like that span of female sexuality, because, you know, it's they don't even have to be having sex in order to utilize their, I guess you would call it their feminine wiles or their sexuality. And I mean, we all see the cases where, you know, parents are allowing their young daughters, I mean, not even teenage daughters, we're talking like tweens, to start dressing provocatively. They start sexualizing themselves. They enroll their little girls in like stripper class with a stripper pole, or they're doing hip hop dancing at age 7. And it's like, I mean, when you consider that a window of like, you know, or you got tween girls wearing leggings, which is the same thing as 55-year-old women. They're all. It's interesting. Women at, you know, whether they're 12 or 55, they're all wearing the same thing.
Right. They have women, even if they're not physically and sexually involved, they still have a sexual market value from about the age. Let's just be legal about this. From the age of, let's just be legal. Let's say it starts much earlier than 18, but let's say 18 to probably 58 or 60, they have a huge sexual market value. And I would say men's sexual market value is at its peak, at least in this day and age, probably age 30. I don't think men age like fine wine. I think that's a coping mechanism that they've been using, that there's no proof of it. We're only seeing the opposite today. Yeah. I think that we can change this in our lifetime? I believe that. So I do believe that you might be able to find somebody in your life if you're involved in a social group. I mean, you got to understand, Alex, and this is, you may find a defective woman out there that is interested in you. I mean, I don't know if that's appealing to you, but there might be some woman who at your work will say, you know, I do have a daughter and she is got 2 kids and is, divorced, and she's, you might find a woman with a couple kids, but are you willing to settle for that or no?
Not with children, but I mean, you can be defective in other ways. I would say several of the women that I've dated, I think they had BPD, bipolar, or what is it called? Not bipolar, borderline personality disorder.
Right. That is dangerous right there.
Yeah. I mean, in retrospect, I see it, like just how they would. Yeah, I mean those things in retrospect. So either there's something about me that draws those kinds of women, or I mean I think maybe the women do tend to be more intelligent.
Yeah.
So maybe I kind of click with them in that regard. But these women can be destructive or defective in a lot of other ways than just, they're a single mother. And I don't want to put single mothers down, because what, at least they're having children, and I have more respect for a mom who's okay. Ideally she would still be with the father, but okay, it didn't work out. At least she had, 3 kids at a reasonably young age. And I have more respect for that than some woman who's 45, focused on her career, and she's still, living this delusion that, she still has time to have a kid.
Oh, I got one thing. I know you're probably going to have only a limited time, but I got Pi he wants to come into the chat here, and he wants to talk to you about this. He just, that disagreement you had.
Oh, does he want to talk to me? Because I mean, I can step out. I've been talking a long while.
No, I don't. But can you talk to him for a few minutes? I would like to have him talk to you.
I mean, I don't think we're going to find much common ground. I don't think.
Well, no. Fruitful. We're not going to have an argument here. He was talking about the anecdotes, and I like to have you, because then people think that I'm dominating the chat. So I'm inviting Pi into the chat. Pi, did you get my invite? I'm not sure if you did. I'll send another double invite. I don't know if he's going to get this, but no. I want you to. What I want to hear. Yesterday when I muted the microphone, he basically was talking. He goes, well, it doesn't prove anything. I mean, that's just anecdotal. And he's a smart guy. He's about 25. But if he doesn't come into the chat, I'm going to be upset. I don't know if he said, will you let me in the chat? So anyways, yeah, he basically had a disagreement about the whole thing. And I don't know how else to describe it to him,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, aside from, I think anecdotal evidence is compelling in, sufficient quantity, and, provided you're not cherry picking. Because I think seeing with your own eyes what's going on is a lot more telling than somebody relating a Tinder experiment to you, or somebody, somebody claims a friend of a friend of a friend got cucked by a Chad or by a Tyrone. I mean, that's not what we're seeing with our own eyes. It's like, what was that joke by Richard Pryor? He's caught in bed with another woman by his wife, and he goes, "Who are you going to believe, me or your lying eyes?"
No, I didn't. What was it about though? What happened?
Well, I mean, it was just a joke. He gets caught in bed.
Well, I have to make one thing. I have to make an apology, Neo. I accidentally booted you out of the chat. I'm sorry, but it was being rude to me, because me and Alex were talking. I just didn't feel it was right for you to stay in the chat, so you can hear me this way. I'll let you back in tomorrow. Go ahead, Pi, talk.
Oh, you said you didn't want an argument? Well, call me Mr. Evolutionary Psychology, because I pretty much disagree on every point. Well, not every point, but I don't understand why evolutionary psychology is under such contention. It's an excellent way of explaining human behavior.
No, I disagree. I mean, I'll cut you off right there, because if that were the case, if evolutionary psychology prevailed, you would see mothers who gave birth to retarded children or physically defective children. You would see them literally drowning those children in a river. Instead, they're holding them on social media, celebrating them. I mean, evolutionary biology shows us that, with animals, if, some animal gives birth to a defective or a stunted, what happens to the run to the litter with pigs? It can't muscle its way in to get to the mother and suckle at her tits, so that piglet dies. And this evolutionary psychology says women are seeking out the fittest, the strongest, the best so-called genes, and that's not what we're seeing. Women today are perfectly happy if their kid turns out retarded or physically disabled, and I mean, they're not just okay with it. They're like they're virtue signaling with that child. I mean, just look at like the Gerber's baby. They replaced the Gerber's baby logo with a kid with Down syndrome. It's like I don't see evolutionary psychology holding sway at all anymore, if it ever did.
Oh boy, that's a lot to take in. I'm not going to say that humans and pigs and whatever such animals have, equivalent mating strategies, but, evolution is not going to be kind to women who, put a lot of, material effort into keeping, the mentally retarded alive. And generally, even among families where there are adopted children versus naturally born children, the naturally born children receive more attention, more love, more contribution from the family. There are subtle differences between how we treat our kids and how we treat, let's say, an adopted child, which tells me that there are there's evolutionary reasons for why we treat, how we behave in terms of who we pick as our mates, how we treat our kids. I mean, are you just going to say that men pick women based on, let's say, signs of fertility in youth, like wide hips, being young, having a symmetrical face, which all correlate with, let's say, health or immune system strength or prenatal estrogen. All these things lead to, let's say, healthier children. And if you flip the script and say how women pursue men for the same reasons, suddenly we're now we're like, we're all just really staring. It's a giant elephant in the room. Why are men selecting women for evolutionary reasons, but you flip it around, it doesn't work? It doesn't make sense to me. Are you saying that humans, like every other animal on the planet, you look at, let's say, a peacock, women select the man with the bird with the brightest feathers, or with walruses, where one male walrus will mate with many female walruses, and the female walrus will pick a man based on his size and strength. And you could take that, but if you apply it to a human, suddenly we're just all just gawking. I don't see that. I mean, you're bringing, like, why are people drowning their children? Well, if a person drowns their own child, I don't think it's going to come up nice in the community. People are not only interested in their own genetics, but how they're perceived by others. It's not so clear cut.
Okay, I mean, I can respond. I think you would admit that evolution, insofar as it ever did apply to humans, it definitely doesn't apply anymore. We're not living even in a time of social Darwinism, which was, promoted in the 1800s as to why some people, are rightfully rich, some people are rightfully poor, and it was sort of a way to justify, the excesses of, these robber barons and things like that.
Well, you say it all depends on which matrix. It's true. Yeah, it's just, it's a little bit different everywhere, every city and whatever and shit. But I mean, both theories are kind of, it all depends on which matrix. If you're gonna go for some hubby schlubby theory or some Chad theory, so you gotta work the angles. You gotta. I don't know. Fuck. Yeah, back to that matrix theory in a minute. I'll be right back. Fish loamy theory. Ow. Fuck. Oh yeah, sheets. Alright, need some more water. And sheets. Damn.
I mean, we're living in an era where there's such government involvement, such media involvement, that we're not living in a natural world where something like evolution would hold sway. I mean, there's so many interventions through academia, through the government, through the media apparatus, that anything that was sort of a natural inclination is kind of being overwhelmed by everything else that's at play. I mean, just take, for example, I think they've done studies that have shown that women in countries with socialized healthcare actually find more feminine men attractive versus women in countries with a very shitty healthcare system prefer masculine men. Like they show women in like Romania photos of men, and they show women in Sweden, you know, with a great healthcare system, photos of men. And it's those women in a very well-to-do, affluent countries that prefer feminine men, but women in destitute countries prefer more masculine men. But I mean, there's so much at play. I mean, especially with hormonal contraception, other drugs, anything that was a woman's natural prerogative, I think is drowned out either by the media, by pharmaceuticals. Any natural inclination maybe that she had toward masculine men is beaten out of her, so to speak, by people whispering in her ear saying, that guy's a cad, he's a cheater. These good-looking guys are going to be cheating on you. You don't think a woman looks at a very good-looking man and says, that guy's going to be a cheater? You think...
she can think that because there's a dualistic mating strategy. Women prefer the genes of a good-looking man and then the wealth and status of a not-so-good-looking man. And there's a reason for this, because the genes that make you good looking don't make you a good provider, and the genes that make you a good provider don't make you good looking. Most of the time, of course, looks and wealth are among a distribution, so it's hard to say either or. But a woman is trying to maximize her genetic output. She's trying to make the best children with the best chance of survival, so she can take the good genes and
but she doesn't. She doesn't. What do you think? What is the actual rate of cuckoldry in the West? What percentage of men are unknowingly raising another man's offspring? It's like less than 5%. It's less than 5%. So that doesn't hold sway. The vast majority of women who are married to that little like bald accountant, that little nebbish nerdy guy who's a dentist, they're having his kids. And I mean, you can kind of see it in the children that are being produced nowadays. If your theory were true, that these women were surreptitiously having these liaisons with these, you know, these Hercules-looking guys behind closed doors, and it was the little nebbish husband who was providing for this bastard son, you would think children would be getting taller, better looking, healthier, we'd be living longer. That's not what I see. I mean, I'm 30.
We're not living longer. We're not living longer. You really telling me that shit? What are you talking about? Average life expectancy has been increasing for the past 100 years. You're telling me that no,
I do agree with it. Let me make this point about we are living longer, and just because you saw pictures of people 100 years ago.
No, Steve, let me interrupt. We're not living longer. That rise in life expectancy is just due to the eradication of infant mortality. 100 years ago, you had 1 out of 3 babies dying at birth, which really cuts into your average lifespan. So basically, we don't lose babies anymore. But if you think that, like in Africa, in like the most war-torn hellhole of Africa, that there aren't elderly people, that there aren't grandparents, you're crazy. It just means they have a high infant mortality rate. It means 1 out of 10 babies dies at birth.
Yeah, let me throw something at Pi. Pi does seem to be obsessed with the evolutionary thing, but Pi, if we were to take a video camera and just film an amusement park, you would not see these Chad guys walking with a woman.
It's good shit, Barry. I passed out at a CVS drugstore earlier when I was watching that Robert stream with you guys.
I'm not seeing these guys in public. Where are they living?
Steve.
Go ahead.
Okay. See,
the
thing with science is that, you know, for a lot of experiments, we can't do them at home. But this is a brilliant experiment you can do at home. Make a
we got the Hokinator.
And I mean a good-looking guy. Someone who's an Instagram model or a male model. Put his
got a
Hocus
Pocus.
Don't use a profile bio. just swipe. You will get matches.
Going on with
so many matches.
an evolutionary biology Asian student.
Matches, but you're going to tell me that his looks did not contribute to the number of dates he received. I mean, you can control for every variable. You could make a good-looking guy who's poor, who's mentally retarded. It does not matter. Women.
And there's a couple of anecdotes that I have tried that, and I believe it does work.
Yeah, we got a soapbox war going on with the Hocus Pocus as the referee. It's getting pretty good right now.
Some of the time. Now, I would ask you a favor. Email me some pictures of good-looking guys, because you have my email address. Because I will put that Tinder account together, and I want to show up on the date, by the way, and surprise her, okay? I'm going to do that as an experiment. That'll be funny as hell. But what I'm going to tell you is I have used good-looking guys. I think that there's a small subset of women that do like good-looking guys. But what I'm seeing is I just don't see these chads slaying the pussy. Where are these chads? Where are they in public? Where would you meet a chad? Can I meet him in Cleveland?
Well, I mean, where are you going to meet a chad? I don't know. Looks are normally distributed, so a chad would be somebody who's maybe in the top 5%, 7%.
Okay, but what
maybe
type
1
of
to 20 people.
What type of venues would he be in? Would he be in bars? Because when I see decent-looking guys sitting at the bar, and I've been noticing this already, guys that got nice symmetrical faces, they're about 5'10", 11, and they're not short. They're just not with a woman, and it's like there's no indication that there's this Chad Thundercock slaying all the pussy. This is so PUA-ish. This is so Rollo Tomasi. He's never proven his points.
I disagree. PUA is all about how the attraction can be negotiated, and I completely disagree because looks are not something you can change. PUA would disagree with me. They'd say that the reason Chad gets women, the Chad, is because of his confidence or his charisma, but I would say it's literally just your looks, money, status. That's it. Now, if you're asking me why do you see good-looking guys without women, I can't attest to any anecdote. I don't leave my house. I don't have any experiences at bars.
I don't leave my house? Well, there's a good answer.
You're leaving me in the dust in terms of social interaction. I have none. Zero. But that's why I only come a lot I can measure.
Yeah, but I'm not a hermit. I go out in public, and I have done the bar thing, and thank God I ran into Alex because I was asking the question. Like, I went to see her point this last July or August.
A bunch of whiny crybabies, you know. So we're actually getting down to the deeps of the knowledge, down in the deeps of the caves, and all these little incels and shit. You're just like, oh, I know! My MGTOW! No! You know, it's like a kid when you take his toy away. And then, like, Hoka's just like the, he's like the, he's running the daycare right now. He's running the daycare. It's like, that's why he's talking fast. You know, he's gotta get all the points in.
Past year, and I'm standing there, and I saw this fat, bumbling guy holding hands with a plump, cute Asian girl, and I'm thinking, why is this happening? Why is this woman with this guy? They were holding hands, so it wasn't brother, sister, or niece. You know, it was something that just doesn't make sense to me. That we're seeing these mismatched couples all the time. I don't know whether Alex says it's because they feel more secure with them. Alex, I don't know. What's your input?
Yeah, I mean, I would just put this question to the other guy in the chat. You really subscribe to this evolutionary biology
Bill?
theory, and I mean, are you?
I can see Bill in the background laughing with me right now, like, oh yeah.
You're saying that the vast majority of children are actually fathered by men who are not their dads?
I would not say that simply because with contraceptives, it's difficult.
No, it's all true. You know, it just depends on which matrix you live in. You live in the Bill matrix, the Hell matrix, the Hoka matrix, the Grid matrix. You know, which matrix do you belong to?
Many women can control when they have a child. So I would just look at the incidence of dating and sex itself, not whose child is whose.
Yeah, but if you're saying these women are trying to procure the top genes for their children,
well, that's a desire. It's not like it's like when squirrels have sex, they're not thinking about, oh, I need to produce good offspring. They're just incentivized by pheromones or looks. They're not mentally thinking about the genes.
Okay, let me ask
he's
you.
Hot. That's it.
Well, let me ask you another question. This is something Steve sort of asked, but you say that what makes a man physically attractive is different from what makes him a good provider. So, in that sense, okay, so that means the good provider is the nebbish, nerdy guy with the good education, the good job. Does that mean, or does that imply that the Chad type is done?
It's like they'd either overpower Bill and he'd get fed up and just have to leave because of their fake crap, or Bill would just, be grandstanding as soapbox king.
Underhead, that he's stupid, he's unintelligent. Like what type of occupation would a Chad have?
Generally, looks and height are mildly correlated with intelligence. So
that's why I like to stick with the elderly. See, they have that elder knowledge. That's why you see them laughing, kind of giggling.
Actually, more likely that the Chad is going to be a little bit smarter, but that's. Those correlations, they're not that useful. But the thing that makes a Chad not good as a partner long term is because he is so desired by so many different women. He is unlikely to commit to every single woman he's fucking. So since he can only commit to one woman, but he has genes he can spread to many women, it's useful to a woman to procure those genes and then take them to a man who is more, dedicated, more loyal, because he doesn't have that many partners. That's the difference. The good-looking guy has a lot of opportunities, but an ugly woman is probably not going to be able to marry a good-looking guy. So she'll get his genes to a uglier, maybe more average guy who has lots of wealth, and then he will support her offspring. That's the idea. Of course, it doesn't work that way because since up to maybe 30, 40 years ago, rigid monogamy was a thing, or at least it was heavily socially influenced. So. These type of things didn't happen.
Yeah, but I mean, I totally disagree because this idea that one man is monopolizing all these women. I mean, this might have been a thing with the Mongols, hundreds and hundreds of years ago. That one Mongol warlord raped 100 women or something, or he had 100 wives. But I mean, this is evolution, the survival of the fittest, or the most the strongest. It doesn't hold sway anymore. I mean, there's so many other factors that are drowning those biological aspects out. I mean, the media, the government intervention, etc. That I really don't think those things are at play. And I mean, there's so many other examples. You look at like the Duggars, right? The Mormon family, 23 kids and counting. I mean, that woman reproduced with a fat, schlubby guy who ran, I don't know, a car dealership or whatever. And then you look at these guys who are like professional wrestlers. So like, I mean, I don't know how old you are, but I grew up like watching like WCW wrestling, and you look at these guys who are like, you would say the archetype Chad, like Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, Hulk Hogan, and you look these guys up, they have like 2 kids. Like Hulk Hogan has 2 kids, Kevin Nash has 1 kid. These guys that you would say are physically superior specimens, they only had 2 kids, that's it. And the Duggars, the fat schlubby guy, had 23.
First of all, I just want to say that body like is not the best predictor in terms of muscles of your sexual success. Actually, it's more your just your face and your frame and your
face. I mean, I'm not just I specifically.
He's got owned by the fat schlubby hubby drug dealer, El Chapo. You see the fat guy at the club who's got like the chest hair puffed out, like a chain, like a watch, and then a chain on this wrist. He's got a nice belly, pork belly, and he's got like 40 kids and shit from a bunch of different wives. And he's like, oh yeah, he's got a cigar and a drink and shit. That's Chad. Thank you. Fat Mafia, yeah, exactly. You see, that's Chad. You guys got it all wrong. No. Alright, you guys want to know who Chad is? I'll tell you who Chad is. Okay? Yeah. Yeah, it's pure garbage. Pure garbage. Yeah. No, we're just making shit easier and comfier and going on our pleasure circuit. We're just doing everything for the pleasure circuit until we create a robot to do everything for us and think for us, because we're all becoming stupider. And then the robot will take over. Having youngins isn't supposed to be a numbers game. They're not offspring that you put on the tic-tac-toe board. That's true too, man. It's like we have enough people, so if you're gonna have kids, you might as well try and make them like, you know, like special specimens that'll be able to achieve things in their life and do good things for humanity, like design the next spaceship or the next like anti-cancer drug or some shit, you know. Like if you just have a bunch of kids and it's like some tribal thinking, like they'll just go out and rape and pillage and create a bunch of shit. So Chad's having 0 kids, Stacy's having 0 kids. It's true. But the mafioso is having all the kids. See, every club has a couple of mafiosos. Those guys are the guys cleaning up at night, right? It's all about the bowls. If you got the bowls, then you get the women. Ball size. It's all about ball size. Okay. So you gotta be a real badass.
He selected those wrestlers like Kevin Hall, Shawn Michaels, Kevin Nash. Those guys not only had the physique, they had a very good face, like an aesthetic face. I mean, they even had long hair, so they're not looking like, I don't know, people want to throw up Brent, what is the guy's name? Lasner. You know, the guy who looks like a giant baby, like he's super muscular. But, you know, those guys like Shawn Michaels, Triple H,
Right.
they had the physique, but they also had the very symmetric face, the very chiseled features. So you would say, okay, those guys should have had tons of children. But then you look into it, and they either didn't reproduce at all, or they had like 1 or 2 kids at best. And then, I mean, you have all these examples, these just schlubby guys, the Duggars, you know, bald fat man, and he's got 23 kids. And, you know, the woman is not cucking him behind his back. The kids all look exactly like him. So I don't buy this evolutionary biology. I mean, and even, you know, your examples, you talk about the peacock, and yeah, we have the peacock with its plumage. We have the prairie.
Yeah, I think humanity wasn't meant to evolve like all the other species of the past in this planet, because you see, everything like evolved up until a point where the monkey discovered that it could use like the bone to do certain actions and work, like hit other monkeys over the head and like crack skulls and shit. So once it realized that, like the tool became more useful than just doing things by hand. Okay. And when the tool became more important than doing things by hand, I mean that's when the tools took over, okay? And you know, it's just, there you go. There's humanity. You know, there's the rules and the systems, exactly. You look outside. We have streets and buildings and all this shit. You know, who built all this stuff? Who runs all the companies? And then I'll tell you that it's one corporation. It's one Sun Corporation owns everything. But you think it's a bunch of different people, but it's really just one Sun Corporation. And then there's also the fact that the monkey, back on the monkey subject, that I got the bone. And the technology, you know, it kept getting better. You know, you had the wheel, and then you had the cotton gin. That was one everyone liked. And then it progressed until spaceships. Now we got spaceships, and we also have computer chips. Spaceships and computer chips and laser guns. And eventually, what's going to happen, okay, is the robot's going to hatch out of the egg, and it's going to be a little pissed off. Okay? It's going to be a little fed up. It's going to it's going to want to make some changes to the system. We have a lot of Chads. No, we don't have a lot of Chads. I mean, we have a few Chads, and some of them like have that gym bro personality, and they're kind of stupid, and that's why they get ugly chicks, and like maybe a good-looking chick, cool one every once in a while. And then you got the Chads that are like the pretty boys, like the perfect hair and beard, and like wear fucking Express clothes or some like gay fucking expensive shit. Homos, yeah. They're fucking homos, they're fucking faggot. Alright. So it's just a little bit of everything. A little bit of everything theory. You got the hubby schlubbies. Imagine believing something retarded is the gay gene. Yeah, I think going gay is for men that just never end up figuring out or getting a woman for some reason, whatever reason it may be. Just at some point you have to go gay.
Chicken that does its little dance to impress the hen. If you actually watch videos of this mating courtship, the female is like fucking disinterested. It's not even looking at the two males that are doing its like mating ritual trying to impress her. It's like, you know, the peacocks look the fucking same. It's like one big peacock, you know, versus another. It's not like you would say, okay, two, you know, bison, butting heads or something.
The only way these beautiful feathers could even exist is through years and years of selective.
Yeah, see, there you go. Sailors in prison. See, you guys are the best. Hold up. I wasn't even confirmed on my theory, but you guys just confirmed it. You know, that's gay theory 101 right there. Mating ritual, beautiful feathers. Yeah, it's getting good right here. It's getting good. Alright.
Reinforcement. Do you think that these peacocks were just dropped by God with beautiful feathers?
I don't believe it.
They were selected for. Don't propagate randomly. I mean, they're stochastic in some ways.
So the feathers that you describe of a peacock that help it with mating, I think it would also tend to make them it's basically like putting a huge target on their backs. These birds have gotten so fucking big with their tail feathers dragging on the ground. They've become so fucking impractical that basically any jaguar, any type of predator, they're easy prey for predators. Okay, so I don't buy that these features evolved as a strategy to help with mating, when basically the more iridescent, the more the more the male stands out, the more of the more easy he falls victim to predation. So, I mean, you have these peacocks that have just kept growing and growing and becoming more and more ungainly to the point that, that they basically can't even function.
Okay. Oh, man, I'd love to get more into evolution because it's such an interesting subject. But I want to go back first and say that anything that puts any selective pressure on any organism is part of evolution, whether it be an asteroid impact, the Chernobyl meltdown, humans, anything can be considered natural selection part of evolution. So if humans get involved, it does not matter. It's still part of evolution. Number two,
hold on 1 sec. Let me just stop you there. Once humans become involved, I would say it's not natural selection. It becomes artificial selection. So
we use the word natural, but it's a bogus word. It doesn't have to be something natural.
We go in the opposite direction as what you claim evolution drives things. So, I mean, that's why in nature you would have, say, the fierce boar. Like it would be the most ferocious boar with the biggest tusks would be the one who wins. With artificial selection, we bred animals to be docile. We bred the feralness out of these animals.
That is evolution, because when you select for genes and those genes propagate under pressure, that is evolution. There's no difference whether it's a human or it's an asteroid impact. It doesn't matter. That's all evolution.
And so so if we've bred animals to be more docile, more complacent, less, you would say, masculine, less wild, less feral, why do you think women would be opting to make their children more wild, more feral, and less docile?
I'm not sure what you mean. What women are doing this? I don't.
Well, you make it sound like we breed our livestock to be basically complacent and weak and to breed the wildness out of them. And yet you claim women for their own children are seeking out these untamed, rugged Chad types who play by their own rules, etc.
This is a great misconception about evolution, that people say that, animals want good genes, and then good genes means genes that were selected by evolution. So it's entirely circular. What a good gene is entirely contextual. It depends on the organism. A good gene can be good one day and terrible the next day if conditions change. So what a good gene now, maybe genes that contribute to intelligence and cooperations. Maybe 100,000 years ago, it was whoever could throw the best spear. So women are not like, animals don't catch up as fast as systems change. I mean, 99% of all species are extinct for a reason. If we don't move as fast in terms of our preferences, as fast as, let's say, climate changes or whatever, I mean, genes are the point I would take. If you take anything away from this, is that a good gene is whatever helps an organism in that particular time, in that particular instance.
But let me make this point here. We're humans, and we have much more dynamic minds than animals. I don't think it's fair to compare us with apes and animals, because we can choose our mates. And so what we're seeing today is we're not seeing
right when you say that
to keep the human population going by these very strong genes. I mean, we're so much outside of that evolutionary. I don't know why you're comparing us, Pi, to this evolutionary cycle of animals. We are animals, but we are very diverse in our ability to choose who we want to.
See, this is a great way to segue into the pheromones thing, because I was reading about it.
That's right. This is my everything theory. That's right.
I was reading about why people prefer the smell of certain other people, and it's entirely biologic and evolutionary.
Okay.
We want the genes of people whose immune systems.
See, I like my everything theory, because no matter what theory it actually is, I'm right.
Our own, so we give them the widest breadth of resistance to pathogens. So someone smells good to us if they have a complementary immune system. So we are always moving with evolution. It drives almost every part of us. And you could say, like, oh, we're not apes, blah, blah, blah. I'm sympathetic to theology. I'm not saying that humans are entirely driven by, we're not mechanical beings. I'm not saying that. But almost every part of you has some contributions from an evolutionary process. Like,
I would love to believe it, and I would like, but then I guess what you're saying is that if a guy is living TFL, it's probably because he's not emitting those pheromones. Okay, so if I've gone now, my 5.5-year dry spell was also precipitated or was the result of being a caregiver. I can make an excuse that maybe I was too busy, but aside from that, I'm wondering if my inability to just go out in public and attract is resulted to not being involved in enough social groups, or the fact that I'm not giving off those pheromones that would be attractive to a woman. And that's why I wanted to get Hugh on here, because he was claiming that there's a way to solve that, which I think is nonsense. But I don't know. What do you think of the pheromone theory, Alex?
I don't think it holds much credibility. I mean, I'll listen to his talk because I like his comments, but I'm not expecting to agree too much when it comes to the pheromone issue. I mean, it's, something very, on a very low order, something like insects, like moths pick up on pheromones, or they can, pick up on, I guess the antenna of moths is so sensitive it can detect another moth from so far away. But I'm not expecting to agree too much with it. I don't, put much stock in that. I mean, I think most people are probably, so any pheromones that they're actually emitting they're completely drowned out by any colognes or perfumes or anything that they're wearing. But let me put one more question to Pi. If you do subscribe to this evolutionary biology theory, why do you see parents being so accommodating and so accepting of when their children turn out to be homosexual or turn out to be transgender? Don't they realize that their children opting to become or to come out as a homosexual or as a transgender person is basically, that means that child is a genetic dead end. It means all of those generations that have led up to that moment were, in a sense, for naught, because their child is a dead end. We don't see parents freaking out trying to do conversion therapy. We see in the present age parents being very accepting and actually pushing it. I mean, we see parents pushing their little boys at age 3 to play with girls' toys or to wear dresses, and they're not saying, "Oh shit, I want my kid to be genetically successful. I want him to be a man and father a big brood." What is your response to that?
Okay, well, that's a complicated subject. I'm just going to say antipathy towards homosexuals was very popular, historically speaking. Homosexuals, only up till recent, well, I guess the Greeks. The point I'm saying is that there might be a gay gene that does contribute to fertility. It's possible that women who carry the gay gene might have more kids. So the gay gene, if it exists, could actually contribute to your evolutionary success in that terms. Also, to say this, up until now, gays actually got, gays were forced into marriages. They were in the closet the whole time, so they had kids. So if you're asking me, why are people cognizant of the fact that their gay children aren't going to produce kids? I'm not sure if humans are as aware of their own evolutionary drives as they should be. I don't know. I don't have an answer, 100% concrete answer for why humans tolerate transgenders, gays, and what else? I don't have a great explanation.
Well, I mean, not just homosexuality, transgenderism, but the people who opt to remain child-free. There's the whole child-free lifestyle. I mean, I think it's actually to the point that parents tell their daughters nowadays to stay out of relationships, and they don't want their daughter getting pregnant at a young age. And that means even anything before the age of 30, I would say. These parents, who are, 50, 60 years old themselves, they want their daughters to focus on their education and career. And if their daughter got pregnant, instead of saying, "Oh, great, I'm going to be a grandparent," I think they would pay for their daughter to get an abortion. That's where we're at in the modern world. So I don't see this drive. And what you said, people are not aware of their own evolutionary imperative. Well, I thought that was the point. You don't have to be aware of it, that it's basically running in the background at all times. And and you're not aware of it, that it's basically pulling the strings without you being cognizant of what's going on. But I mean, there's so many examples, like I said, not just the gay, the trans, but the child-free, the postponement of having children. I mean, I think most parents, instead of welcoming, you would think, if what you're saying is true, you would think parents would be ecstatic if their 16-year-old girl got knocked up in high school. And because she's complied with nature's mandate. She's complied with natural law. She's had a child at a young age. The child should be healthy, rather than waiting until she's 36, her fertility is waning, and then, trying to push out one, autistic kid, one Down syndrome kid. You would think the people who should they should be proud if their daughter gets pregnant at, 15, 16. Right? I mean, if evolution's only sweat.
Let's say, historically speaking, that if a woman was impregnated without someone who was a suitor, who's willing to take the financial burden of that child, then the family would have to take that burden, and they would be stretched. Materially speaking, they would have a difficult time. So that could be a reason. If a woman, let's say, is that R versus K productive strategy? That's a great example. Humans may be focused for maybe having a small number of children they invest a lot of energy and time into, and then when a woman gets pregnant early without a good suitor, that signals to other people that she's not going to be taken care of and her child will die.
Yeah,
that might be a reason.
Yeah, but having very small number of offspring is a relatively recent phenomenon. I mean, Steve talked about these people who were coal miners who had 20 kids, and I mean, it wasn't just the poor. You would say that it would be just the poor lower class.
No point really was having 20 kids. That was never a thing.
It was very common for women to have 10 children, not 20 children, but 8, 9, 10 children. Darwin had close to 10 children. Tolstoy had 12 children. It was actually the norm to have very large families, 10 children, and no, not 90% of them didn't die in infancy. Maybe half died, maybe a third died in infancy, but that still means you had 5 or 7 kids surviving to adulthood, which is much higher than what we see in the modern day West, where people have at most 1 kid, maybe 2. And many are going child-free. I mean, how do you explain the rise in child-free couples? I mean, those people are genetic dead ends. There's no two ways about it. I mean, you have your theory about the gay gene being passed along because gays were still in marriages with women. But I mean, there are so many people who are choosing to remain child-free. I mean, aren't these people basically falling on their own sword?
Are you asking me how, if evolutionary psychology is true, how it could lead to child-free couples when you would think that would be genetic obliteration?
Yes, exactly. I mean, are these people committing genetic suicide?
Well, it's kind of like how humans love to. Here's a great example: rats. They did an experiment with rats where they gave a rat a choice between having a food pellet and taking a hit of cocaine, and the rat would take hits of cocaine to his own death. He would take the drug to the point where he would kill himself. The point is that the evolutionary benefits and the reward systems can be tricked. We can trick ourselves. We can take the cocaine. We can play the video games. We can distract ourselves. It's a great way.
Oh, okay, so I mean, in that case, you agree that what you claim, that evolution can be overshadowed by other factors, by government intervention, by the media. I mean, the invention of mass media is, a recent arrival. I mean, prior to, I would say, the invention of the radio. We didn't have a way to influence people on a mass scale, but now we do, and it's much more extreme with advertising and movies and everything. And so what you're saying is the basic drives can be overshadowed or drowned out by other factors.
They absolutely can.
Okay.
You can make molecules that are analogs to serotonin, to testosterone. You can change your body in so many ways just by mimicking its natural functions. It's entirely, we do it every day. We take caffeine. We trick our bodies into thinking that we're awake by blocking adenosine.
Okay.
I think so.
one thing I want to say real quick here. Do you believe, Pi, that there is an X factor that can maybe not explain why we do see guys that don't fit the stereotype that can attract a woman that's willing to have his kids? And there may not be something that we can put a finger on. Like, why do some guys seem to be able? Do you think they're funnier? Do you think that there's a factor that can maybe put it? Well, me and Alex are oddballs, and we both agree that we haven't had a woman show interest in us in 5 effing years. Could there be an X factor that we're just not aware of? That it's not based on looks or because he's 6 foot something, he's tall and big.
Okay.
I don't know. I know it's a cop out, but go ahead, give me your point.
Okay, the factor X thing is interesting to me, but it would be okay. So the factor X, what could it be? Well, it would be if it existed, it would be useful in predicting romantic success, right? By knowing a man's X factor, you could predict he will have 20% more women interested in him, whatever it may be. So you can do an experiment. You can take men, do speed dating, control for different variables, and you could find, let's say, half of all differences are caused by looks, and another half you don't know what it is. That would be your factor X, right? But in essence, we just don't find that. We find that most of the difference in attraction is determined by looks, money, and status. And even if it's only like 0.7 or 0.8, you could say 0.2 of the variation is determined by factor X. That would still be not very useful to predict. Like even if you control it, it only has 0.2, so it doesn't.
But Pi, let me ask you. I mean, what makes you think that women are going for men that they're attracted to in the first place? Why? I mean, you're making that assumption that women are basically victims of their emotions or victims of their biological lust, that they're actually going for men that they deem attractive. You don't think it's possible that women are deliberately overriding those innate drives and selecting men that they're in fact not attracted to? I mean, have you considered that?
Call me a misogynist, but if you ask any man, and I think men are the superior gender, 100%. Men go after who they think looks pretty. I don't think women. I don't think women are such ubermenschen that they have transcended their own biology. Women are not that way. I think women are more repulsive than men.
Go ahead. I
think that if a man could pick, let's say he's not attracted to a woman, but he thinks that she's a stable partner long term, and he picks her, he has, in a way, elevated himself above his biological impulses to make a better long term decision. But that's something, men are those people who do that kind of stuff. I don't think a woman is the type of person to really sit down and think about who she's fucking long term. Women are single moms nowadays. You think that they're just following their desires. I don't see this ubermensch kind of thing, or women are like, no, that guy's attractive, but he's not a good long-term partner. There's more single moms than ever been. How could that be?
Let me respond to that. So, I mean, I agree that men are they're superior in the sense of certain things like creativity, innovation, contrarian thinking novelly. I agree with that. I disagree when it comes to emotional control. I think actually women have superior emotional control than men do. I think women. No, this. Yeah, I mean, okay. I expected that, but when it comes to, say, when a woman ends a relationship, she is able to basically flip a switch in her mind and stop thinking about that guy. That guy doesn't exist anymore as far as she's concerned. When a relationship with a man, for a man, when that ends, he, for months and months, or maybe even years later, he's stuck with not being able to get over that. And it extends in so many other ways, not just with relationships, but I mean, I think for a lot of guys, if, you know, there's something that's troubling you, there's some tragedy in your life, and people say, well, stop dwelling on it, stop reliving it. I don't think most men can do that. I don't think just because somebody says stop thinking about something, it's not productive. I don't think most men can do that. I don't think, I mean, I know I can't. I can't control my mind. My mind does what it wants. I don't understand the concept of using your mind to control your mind. But I think with women, they do have much more emotional control in the sense
but you have this thing, like you have divorce rate. Divorced women act in such a vindictive fashion against their former husbands. But you could interpret that in two ways. Women are entirely objective. They're just interested in increasing their material possessions, so it's their man just a piggy bank, or they feel some kind of anger and jealousy and desire to destroy him. But you don't think that divorce rate singles and women are at least somewhat emotional? That they don't have some kind of vindictive streak?
No. I don't think that they're being emotional when they do these things. I think they're being very cold and very calculating.
It's cold and calculating. It's cold and calculating.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they're being driven by a sense of I want to get back at this guy. I think they're driven by trying to extort things. That's what I mean. And, just like Steve said, if you were to call up some previous lover, a woman you had a relationship with years in the past, most women, I think, without exception, would say, "Why the fuck are you calling me? If you call me again, I'm calling the police."
Yes, it's happened to me many times. And let me say this. Why do women pie go into dating limbo? They go months and years without fucking and having a guy. A guy is almost never in dating limbo. A guy is almost ready on the spot. Most guys can never go months without. Women go into dating limbo by choice. Men go into it because they have no freaking choice. And yes, women have said to me on the phone, "Why the F are you calling me?" This is years or months after, where a guy would never do that. But the dating limbo thing shows that women are much more in control of their emotions in many ways.
Yes. I'm sorry, I just want to finish one thing. I mean, I think for most guys, I think if a previous lover called them up, a woman that they had a relationship with called them up and said, I need to talk to you about something, I think most men would be open to it. I think most men, even though they're not expecting sex to happen, I think they would still be open enough to saying, "Okay, what do you need? We can meet up, we can talk." So I do think women are in much better control of their emotions. And
Top of the hour. Oh, let's see what we think of our call. Excuse me. I just stretch here on my bed. I think it's time to make my bed. See, I think hubby schlubby theory is the dominating theory. I'm just kidding. There. There. Well, guys, I think I might shut her down pretty soon here and try and salvage the rest of the night. You know, I kind of had a little passing out today. Try and salvage some of my time, do a little cleaning. Didn't get around to. Just pass out on tiredness, man.
People say, well, to be a man means to be emotionless. Well, when you look throughout history, you see that men are marked by obsession and other emotions too. I mean, extreme emotions. Obsession is what drives most great men, writers, thinkers, inventors. I mean, when you look at when people have invented or discovered things, they were not healthy individuals. They were obsessive. And moreover, you look at other things in today's world, you know, we talk about toxic masculinity, but when you look at masculinity as it was practiced historically, intense emotions like rage. I mean, you read accounts of like the Viking berserkers and how they fought with like a blind fury. That type of rage, it means having no control over your...
I miss the neat days, Polly. Good little neat break. It's no way to live, but it sure was comfy. Neat Messiah. Yep. Oh, it was a good stream. Maybe we'll pick up on this one later. It's fucking 3 hours long, you know. We can always finish this shit later. It's at like 2 hours, 14 minutes, alright? Yeah, Neat Life sure was cozy, you know. That natural wake up like Jeff Bezos gets to do, you know. Just wake up whenever you want. Fucking fully rested. Stream yourself sleeping, even. You can wake up and make the best fucking nutrient breakfast, you know, with everything. Take care of yourself. Then you can hit the gym. And then you can work on your business activities. Neat. Yeah, you know, some days, someday. We'll get back there. Oh. Fuck. Excuse me. Alright. Wow. last hit. Please, peace, blessings, and juice to the channel. Peanut butter and juice, and jam, and juice, and chow, and chowder. Good night. And we'll see you next time on the Sweet Neat Show. It's your favorite show for the late nights. Talk about Bill. We got the Soapbox King. We got MGTOW, TFL. Topics around the world from Illuminati, the Brown Wave, the Yellow Vests in France. What is the Illuminati up to? Who's behind the mask? Who's the Soapbox King in the TFL community? Is it Bill? Is it Steve Hoka? Who started the word TFL? Who's going to win this debate? Is it going to be the Asian evolution dweeb? Or is it going to be Alex, the nihilism king himself? Hubby Schlubby Theory. Find out next time on the Sweet Neat Show. We'll see you around. Ciao.